So first of all, I think you can make an argument that the tree that organizes content experience, let's say on a website, to use a classic example, that it does a bunch of things, but really the main two things it does are the following. One, it sequences content in a determinate order, which is actually kind of a difficult thing to model in software. And it's kind of, by the way, a big problem for like the headless CMS platforms like Contentful and others, although they're starting to address it. So the idea that you would have a content journey, as anyone who's done content strategy will have built, where a person clicks through a series of pages and there's a building set of arguments or information. That's one thing that the tree structure or the content structure does. The other thing that it does is that it has a sort of information architecture UX value in terms of meeting all of the overlapping Venn diagram of use cases. Because you're trying to deal with all these possible different things. There are overlapping audiences, have overlapping interests. So you make the best information architecture that you can. So, so in the state that I'm imagining in the future, there might be a way for you to create a content journey that has a sort of determinate flow to it. Like, this piece of content comes before this piece, or you have these branching paths, but not have that fulfill the second obligation, because the second obligation is based around the idea that the default site is the priority and personalization is sort of an add-on. And so what I'm raising is, what if personalization was at the core? You started with equivocal branching experiences that maybe overlapped or maybe didn't, but were highly refined, and you never showed the other experiences to people that were not, sort of qualified for them in some way. And I think there are ways that this could massively backfire, like I was referring to before. Like, I go to my grandmother's computer and I go to avenuecx.com or whatever, and I see like a totally different site, and it's because it thinks I'm my grandmother. So there's a lot to discuss about this, but anyway, I just want to sort of make that point, because I think to me it's instructive, like that you don't have to give up the idea of sequencing content in some sense